No, infantile asthma is the asthma where, because there is a rapid breathing, and small children are not, they don't have the reflex of a hawking. That hawking reflex is not there in small children. When there is no hawking reflex, he cannot bring out the mucus. So they say, a lot of pediatricians say, if there is, if the mucus is not hopped out during infantile asthma, he may develop asthma later on in his life. If the mucus is suppressed, a lot of pediatricians predict that did the child have a infantile asthma, that's why he is having asthma today. If that hawking, if that thing was could come out, then there was no problem. Now, what happens in small children, because they cannot opt out the mucus, we call it bulgum or badka, whatever it is. So that bulgum, when you cannot remove the bulgum, then there is a constant, there is a shallow breathing in asthma. Shallow breathing, you try to breathe shallow for 5 minutes, and even you can develop an asthma. Anyone can develop asthma because of the shallow breathing. So because of shallow breathing, the person can develop asthma, and if you develop asthma, when not asthma, you can develop nausea. And this is small children, they cannot eat or drink anything during their asthmatic period, because what we say is again the persistent nausea, and sometimes sometimes he vomits out a lot of mucus. He vomits out an enormous amount of mucus, and he feels relieved. So that persistent nausea is there because of the shallow breathing in small children. That's why it is known as infantile asthma. But the nausea has to be persistent. There is no thirst, nor can you have any food. Ipecac is a thirstless remedy. Then we have one more thing in Ipecac, what we say, that is the hemorrhagic diathesis. Hemorrhagic diathesis, I like to again revert back to my case of dengue, where Ipecac is having hemorrhagic diathesis, and dengue is also hemorrhagic uh, disease, where they have petechial hemorrhage under the skin, where a person can develop petechial patches or purpura hemorrhagica because of the lack of platelet count. The platelet count is very low, and when the platelet count is very low, that time there is a tendency for hemorrhage. In Ipecac, it is always arterial hemorrhage or bright red blood. Bright red blood, arterial hemorrhage in Ipecac, and he, but with this hemorrhage, or even if he complains that there is a profuse menses, it has to be accompanied by nausea. If there is no nausea, Ipecac is contraindicated. I am repeating it. If there is no nausea, Ipecac is contraindicated. It can be nausea associated with headache. It can be a nausea associated with even conjunctivitis. It can be nausea associated with pain in the tonsils, or anything. As far as there is a nausea with fever, nausea with menses, nausea with diarrhea, nausea with body ache, nausea with so many that you see, nausea has to be there. Without nausea, we cannot just think of Ipecac, because without nausea, Ipecac is, again I'm repeating it, it's contraindicated. Nausea with dysmenorrhea, nausea with if she says that I get vomiting during my menses, so we can think of nausea again. The nausea during pregnancy, nausea during traveling. So there are so many things. Traveling, though it is nausea during traveling, is not only Ipecac. There are other remedies because they are having motion sickness, like cocculus. Cocculus having motion sickness. But here, Ipecac is persistent nausea, where she complains of nausea all along. Then, and Ipecac does do wonders whenever there is a nausea. Then, then we can have Ipecac, because Ipecac in a couple of other conditions where any possible condition like backache, body ache, joint pains. But if there is a nausea, we certainly can think of Ipecac, because this is a leading symptom, or the whole remedy, I would say, the whole remedy revolves around one particular symptom, and that is nausea. The whole remedy revolves around that symptom, and you'll be lucky to have such a remedy where if you know one symptom, a very strong characteristic symptom, you can predict that this patient is of Ipecac, and that is a turning point in your there's a turning point in your diagnosis, where as far as the diagnosis is concerned, you can really predict Ipecac, and it's a very simple remedy, and but it cannot be replaced by anything else. And I would say that you're very lucky uh, for like to have a teacher like me who is making it very simple. Another simple thing, because once you remember this nausea, you'll remember Ipecac, and you can form, even in the exams, you can form a full drug picture of Ipecac only by persistent nausea, right? Then even Ipecac can be given for nose bleeding with nausea, then pain in the teeth with nausea, of course bright red blood, because it is a arterial bleeding. Arterial bleeding, it is active bleeding in Ipecac, where it is a hemorrhagic diathesis. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions, you can ask me now. When I am unmuting you, I have unmuted you all, and if you have some questions, please ask. Do you have? Yes, Amisha, you want to ask something? Arshada?
No, sir.
Okay. Anyone? Did you follow what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Could you follow what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
I made it very simple for you. You have, of course, you have to read it from the text. But Ipecac, as I told you, has cured even cholera in case of Dr. Hanik Borger, who got himself rid of cholera only with Ipecac. So that is, again, we never think of Ipecac in cholera.
Why, sir?
Why, sir? I told you, because of the persistent nausea. There was rice water stool with nausea. Not
So
only
how was he treated?
vomiting, it's not vomiting only. Nausea. सिर्फ vomiting नहीं है. Vomiting, even pyramid has got vomiting without nausea. That is not the case here. It is persistent nausea. कुछ भी देखने पर you will have that retching sensation. That retching sensation, गुळण्या आपण मराठी से विषय गुळणी आली. So that typical retching sensation is there. So with this particular symptom, Dr. Hanik Borger cured himself of cholera.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Anyone else? Dr. Sunita, you want to ask some question?
Yes, differentiation between antimony tart and Ipecac in respiratory complaint. One could be the tongue. One is coated, one is quite this thing. And but the rattling is something similar.
Let's see. In Antim-tart is a drainer. It can drain. When I teach Antim-tart, you will follow it better. It has got rattling. It has got a rattling in the chest. It is not death rattling. Marna purvichi ghargar. In Marathi we call it marne pehle ki ghargar. The death rattling.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You can hear it in some
Yes,
other.
sir.
Yeah. Ipecac is more of in children where we have, of course, what we call infantile asthma. Infantile asthma, where there is, of course, rapid breathing with persistent nausea. See, Antim-tart also is having nausea. You are right. Antim-tart also is having nausea, but Antim-tart is having that death rattling. Marna purvichi ghargar. You can follow Marathi or you don't follow?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, I know. Okay, sir.
Can we end the lecture?
Yes, sir.
Shall we end the lecture? Shall we end the lecture?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
tomorrow we'll cover anti-tart for Dr. Sunita Bajpayee's sake. Okay? Okay, fine.
Sorry, sir.
Tomorrow we'll cover anti-tart for your sake.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.